Hello guys and gals, me Mudahar, and this is a special video where I'm basically talking about if this game here, Destiny, is actually worth even purchasing. Now, I purchased this on a whim. I played it with Mullet Mike on release night, and I gotta say, this game's definitely got some stuff to it. Now, I was one of the people that, a lot of people asked me if I was going to be doing some Destiny or something, and I was excited for it on a live stream several times. We're talking months and months and months before even when this game was announced and they just started making the VDocs. And I was like, no, I'm not really interested in Destiny. I watched some gameplay of it, and I was like, it seems like your standard shooter fare, yada yada yada. And then the game started to get some massive hype, like Titanfall, and that was a game I actually did quite enjoy. And here we are, just a couple days after Destiny launches. And is this game worth getting? Don't think of this as a review or anything. I mean, I've done one review. The only reason this isn't a review is the fact that this is sort of a cross between first impressions and reviews. I mean, I played this for hours, but I have by no means have beaten it yet, actually. But from what I have played, I gotta tell you something. This definitely does have some kick to it. Now what you're seeing here is PlayStation 4 gameplay footage. In fact, all the footage you're seeing here is PS4 gameplay. This game is also out on the Xbox One and the last-gen consoles, PS3 and Xbox 360. This game runs at full 1080p at 30 frames per second, if I'm not mistaken. It feels really responsive though, so even if it is 30 frames per second, it's a good frame rate, which I guess I can say. I mean, it's very, very playable. In fact, I think the PS4 and Xbox One versions are entirely the same, so there's no resolution, difference or this frame rate gap, yada yada yada. They're both the same versions. They both play well. One of the things that I have to say here, though, is for a fucking multiplayer-only game, this has absolutely no launch issues so far. I've ran into maybe 2 connection problems. One was actually pretty bad. I was doing one of the strike missions, which if you don't know what the strike mission is, you'll see some gameplay over here. It's like this really long raid, I guess you could say, in an MMO, but I sort of crashed halfway into it. Like it said, connection could not be, established to Destiny servers, yada yada. In fact, here's the error. And that sort of pissed me off, but I did kind of expect this first couple days, but, my beta experience was a little more smoother than the launch experience, but that's to be expected because there are millions of people playing this game right now. In fact, that's one thing I gotta say over here. For a game that's essentially online only, which is one thing that I gotta point out, if you do not have a good internet connection, do not buy Destiny. If you do not have a very decent modern connection that can hold its strength, because as soon as you disconnect off the servers from Destiny, it's not like, some other online only games where it might freeze up and wait for a reconnect. It'll just cut to black and you will get an error message. You'll hit X or A or whatever button you have on the controller, and you will go to the main menu, you will relog into the Destiny servers, connect your account, and be back in orbit, which fucking sucks. In fact, I think it's very antiquated. I think they need to fix that entirely. They need to change the way it works, because you could be playing like a 40-minute strike, you could be at the very end, you'll lose connection, and boom, all your strike progress is gone. And I don't know if your XP or items stay too. That is a load of bullshit, pretty much, and I think that needs to change first of all. But the single player and the cooperative is very engrossing. Me and Mike were playing a couple missions last night. We were playing it like 2 in the morning. It was really, really fun. We were playing it on hard. There's multiple difficulties, by the way. And it was pretty sweet playing it. There was a lot of cooperation that we were dealing with. We died a couple times reviving, and it did get intense at points. So as a cooperative game, it is very great. My brother loves Borderlands. He loves Destiny too. So, that kind and you know what? I mean, the comparisons here, the Borderlands, Halo, Destiny comparison, let me tell you right now, this game looks a little bit like Halo. It has nods to it, but it's distinguished enough to not be a Halo clone. Let me tell you that right now. It plays differently enough. I've played Halo, and I've played Destiny. They're really not that close. I mean, yeah, sure, they're sci-fi and they're first-person shooters, but a lot of games can do that. They do differentiate apart. Borderlands, though, and really Diablo, if you bring it together, sort of play with this whole MMO-style feel they have going on, which, I gotta be honest with you, it makes sense. I like it. There's item grinding, there's yada 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 over there, so if you're into that, you should definitely try it out. But for me, personally, I didn't feel like I had to grind at all in the game. In fact, what I wanted to do was actually grind, because they have these patrol missions where you can go onto the areas you've unlocked, like you're seeing the moon right now, which I gotta add right now, this game graphically looks very, very gorgeous. Oh my god, this game is to this game is probably one of the best next-gen games I've played so far. And yeah, it's on the current gen, but I'm talking about the next-gen. If you're getting Destiny, please try as hard as you can to get yourself a next-gen system, whether it be the Xbox One or PS4, because it is a very pretty game. And that's one thing I have to give to it. It gave me that feeling that I had when I played the original Halo, where I landed on Halo, I looked around, I was like, wow, this is impressive. I'm getting that same feeling nowadays, and that's a feeling that I fought for when the next gen came out. I wasn't blown away until I played Destiny, and I got to places like the moon. All the effects, all the particles, all the atmosphere, it kicks in well. The story, on the other hand, is, it's all over the place. I really, like, the lore is interesting, but the story that is being presented to you is not, and I don't enjoy it. I mean, we'll have to see when we get later into it, because there's supposed to be some really cool stuff happening when you get to the Awaken. Mind you, I've not played the entire single player yet. I'm still on my way through it. So that's one thing for sure. That's why it's not a review over there. But the story so far hasn't really captivated me. Another thing I have to actually mention too is with the gameplay as well. The whole core boss fights and the strike raids that you're doing. You're looking at some footage right here, and I'm going to be honest with you, this stuff kind of just artificially inflates the game length. I mean, I'm playing it, and these bosses, man, when you're first starting out, you gotta lay just waste upon waste into it. It's not that it's a difficult fight, it's just time consuming. Like, boom, 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 lay a couple shots, chill in the back, come back and do the same again, rinse and repeat. There's no, like, strategy to it. And I had the same thing with the beta, you know, and I thought they would have fixed it for now, but they didn't. And that's sort of what just, you know, ruins that whole experience for me. But at the same time, like, I can sort of get into it because I do like the gameplay, I do like playing with other people, I do like all that stuff, and it is rewarding to get those items later on, because there are some really kick-ass weapons, don't get me wrong here. But that's really on the Destiny single-player side, not single-player, but the story co-op section. You get to the, what is it, right here, we're in orbit, and we can go to the, and orbit's a really cool thing because it's like this really awesome centralized connection system where, like, you can instantly make a fire team go to where you want it. It's so seamless. You can go to the last city on Earth, which is this place where it's like everything is amassed at this point, and it's where your social hub is. So you can get bounties that you can basically, like, bounties are like little challenges you do to make some money. You can you turn in, like, these hidden items or whatever, these cryptid items, and you can uncrypt them, you can get weapons, you can do everything. You can go to the Crucible, which is the online arena. This is a social hub. You see me going around in third person, there's no first person for it. You can get new ships, which I have no idea what they do yet. So I know the ships you can spawn in, the Sparrows, those are really cool, and there's other variants with, like, guns attached to them. On the final note though, the multiplayer, which is something that I really do not like get into on this game, trust me. As soon as you get into the Crucible, it's cool and all. You get into the multiplayer, and there's nice maps here. The maps are a little too big for the people you're playing with. I believe it's just 6 on 6. Not 8 on 8, it's 6 on 6, if I'm not mistaken. The maps are a little too big for it, you know, the whole fight. And honestly, the fact that you do get items in the single player and you can just bring them seamlessly into the multiplayer really actually unbalances it. And not just from, like, I mean, like, even me, I have one weapon that just instant kills anything pretty much. You gotta charge it up though. But it just unbalances the whole multiplayer. And honestly, the multiplayer does feel bland compared to the single player, and I don't enjoy that a whole lot. I don't know, they could change it at any point, but being a Bungie game and being the masterminds they were behind the Halo franchise, I would have expected some of that multiplayer sheen to rub off onto this. But hey, that's just my opinion. We all have different opinions, yada yada yada. This game, as a whole, is something I think you all should purchase. If you're looking for a great game to play with your buddies, you should get this game. Now, I don't know about the subscription requirements, so this game has no online fee whatsoever. In fact, the only fee you'll be paying is either Xbox Live Gold or PlayStation Plus. And even on PlayStation, the Plus membership is only valid if you're doing the, you know, raids, the strikes really, and the online multiplayer. Other than that, the single player is entirely free as far as I know on the PlayStation. In fact, even playing it online with your friends is free on the PlayStation if you're just doing the single player stuff. And that's really cool. As an MMO, it's nice. It actually has the best launch I've seen on MMOs so far right now here. And being Bungie, I did expect them to do it, you know. They know their multiplayer requirements, they know what they're dealing with. And it's nice to see a game that launches without a fuck ton of bugs that ruin your launch day experience. That being said, this has been Destiny, and this is if you should buy it. And I give it a yes, so tell me in the description below. Not the description, what the hell, am I stupid right now? See, that's what Destiny is doing to me. It's making me, it is my destiny to fail this commentary. But go into the comments below and tell me if you like Destiny, what system you got it on, and if you actually enjoy it. This is me, Mudahar, and if you like what you saw, then like, comment, and subscribe. I am out.